Hi guys, welcome to today's reading on toxic family and protecting yourself and your psyche, your psychological, your mental health, things like that. We have 5 groups today to select from. Group 1 is Shungite with the 4 of Wands and completion. Group 2 is Black Tourmaline with the 2 of Pentacles and change. Group 3 we have Lemurian Aquatine with the 4 of Pentacles and power. Group 5, abundance, orange calcite, 3 of Cups. And lastly, we have group 5 with Sodalite and the Ace of Pentacles. So go ahead and select your pile using your intuition, and I will see you in your reading. Welcome, group 1, those of you who picked the Shungite and this 4 of Wands completion card. This is your reading on protecting yourself and your psyche, and in this case your aura as well, because that kept coming up as I was laying out the cards as well. So it's protecting your aura, your psychological health, your aura, and things like that. So the first thing that really stands out is this King of Air. Brilliant, impartial, professional, diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice. Balance, mental, and emotional consideration. So this card is a big part of your reading, and there's different elements to it. You know, the first one is the need for professional advice, impartial advice, someone who is really just outside of this situation and has a different perspective on it. Someone who can be very logical, because I could hear this person ask you with this failure card here in reverse, the seven of Pentacles in reverse, would say to you, you know, like, well, how's that working for you? Is that working for you? Because I'm just getting this feeling as well as, like, you know, being at the gym and training to failure. You know how they say that with like lifting weights, and I'm getting this feeling of like, no, don't train to failure. You know, you don't have to fail completely, miserably, in order to stop doing something. You know, like a more logical approach would be to try it out. If it's not working, evaluate it and say, okay, this isn't working. And so there seems to be there's obviously a lot of emotional, I want to say, dysregulation in this. Well, I mean, with toxic family, you know, with here balancing mental and emotional considerations, like sometimes we do things because, you know, for emotional reasons, and we don't necessarily understand why we do it. We just do it, and it's not exactly working for us, like from a logical standpoint. So whoever this person is that can really help you, it's like I'm getting this feeling of like believing that there is help for you out there, with synchronicities right below it. Because with synchronicities, it's like about alignment, and things coming in at the right time. But there's also a belief in it, you know, with the King of Air. It's like a mental thing. So there has to be this belief that there is help out there, that somebody can help you, that you just definitely have to believe that, because here with the Devil card, it's like I'm getting this as like an opposite energy as well, right? Okay, so we have masks, we have the Devil, we have the sacral chakra, and so with the Devil, I'm getting, you know, unhealthy patterns, right? And so when I was talking about having belief that there is help out there, there are solutions out there, there is advice, and things that are going to work, right? Because the King of Air is very intelligent, very smart, you know, and very matter of fact. You know, with the Devil, I'm getting like strong emotions and, like, you know, being driven by emotions, being driven by it's like addictions, repetitive patterns, like being held to like these cycles and these loops, and like this thing about training to failure and just like sticking to things even though it's not working, but like on some level thinking that it does work even though it doesn't. And so, you know, this person, this outside impartial party, can really be able to challenge you, on what these things are that you're doing that are keeping you in a loop, keeping you in a cycle, keeping you stuck, and preventing you from really moving forward, and to help you just move past it, right? And to get unstuck, because a big part of it has to do with this masks, and wearing masks and not really showing who you truly are, because here, or what's really going on, like I just heard faking it till you make it. And as I was putting down this card as well, I kept thinking about an individual at my workplace. And okay, so like one thing I noticed about her, and this is obviously relevant to the reading. Somebody will come, like she takes a lot of shit from people. Okay, she's a higher up, and she takes a lot of shit from people. I hear her just getting shit on, and she'll just come out of her office and be like extra happy. Like the more she gets shit on, the more of a mask that she puts on. The more fake she seems. And when I say fake, it's like in the sense of like just this mask and coming out and pretending like she's okay. And I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I know you're not okay right now. But it's like she amps up this mask. And so for you guys, I'm getting, especially with the sacral chakra, and it has to do with feelings. It's like putting on this mask, or having different masks that you put on when you get emotionally dysregulated in some sort of way, and then how this drives you to not exactly getting the help that you need. And when I say the help you need, I'm not necessarily talking about like, this professional or this outside party. Although it does bring that in, because it's like if you're going to mask how you're feeling, like, okay, I'll use the example of alcohol, right? It's like if every time you're experiencing something, you're going to mask it with, going out to drink. And my phone just dings, so maybe that's very relevant for some of you guys, is like, but that's what I'm talking about when I say unhealthy coping strategies and mechanisms for these emotional dysregulation. And then it's like just suppressing it in some sort of way, and then having this mask, and then having this sort of like not working for you, like this is not working for you. And it's not just not working for you in the way that you're dealing with it and not finding an actual solution for it. It's also like blocking out. Like I'm just getting this feeling of like with this wild, may you express all that you are in reverse. It's like preventing you from being like the full expression of who you are. It's preventing you from meeting the people that you're meant to be with, because it's like if you're wearing a mask, you have the Three of Cups here in reverse, and this isn't just about friendships and people. This is also about like professional help, people, everything. If you're gonna be wearing a mask, other people, it's like you're gonna be, what's gonna reflect back to you is other people wearing, either they're wearing masks or they're just not the right people that are going to be able to help you. It's like the universe isn't going to be able to bring in the right people for you. And so there has to be this belief that the right people are out there, the right help is out there, the right solutions are out there, and there's this need to. It's almost like, well, I just heard like walking through the fire, like there's definitely, you're going to need to discover ways, because now I'm seeing the Shungite and like this need to stress relieve, and when I say training to failure, because I did bring up training to failure, right? And now it's like I'm hearing like, yes, you need to train to failure. You need a healthy way to relieve some of this stress and these emotions that you're picking up in your aura, because again, this aura thing kept coming out. Because it's like, and grounding yourself again with this, you need to ground some of these emotions that are coming through you, these really powerful, strong emotions, especially at the beginning when you are starting to take off these masks. It's almost going to feel like you're not going to know what what you have to do with these emotions that are going to really throw you off. But it's like this is part of the journey of letting go of, because here, Five of Pentacles, struggle, hardship, loss, you know, it's like letting go of this difficulty, these hardships, is going to come at a cost. And there's going to be, obviously, like, I feel like this sensory overload is going to come over you. This card is from like it's like an empath oracle. So I'm just feeling like, just like this sensory overload with sensuality in reverse, with passion, with the sacral chakra, and this fire, and Aries and Venus. It's just a very powerful. I'm getting two things with this. Now I'm getting with Aries and, I almost wanted to say Taurus, but Venus, is like going after, ultimately, this is really about going after what you love and moving towards love. And I just mean that in a very, like, when I say moving towards love, I almost feel like moving towards spirit, moving towards God, and moving away from fear. Fear of what you think it's going to do, to remove the masks, right? And part of this removing these masks is really about having faith. And again, it goes back to synchronicities, knowing that the universe will have your back if you believe that there's help out there, that you can be your true self. And this is what we're talking about with completion. It's like this element is like wanting to come in to help bring you this like stability and this completion. I'm just feeling this, like, to completely remove your masks, to completely feel everything you're going to feel. And believe that it will be healed. Believe that you can ground and release this tension and this stress. And I know we're talking about toxic family, and I think that this ties into the fact that, like, wearing masks, like, not being free to be who you are with your family, having to hide parts of yourself. And, a big part of these like toxic patterns, and this dysregulation comes from, is rooted in your family, right? And it's like this idea that, to keep doing things that don't work, it's like being in these loops and these patterns. I'm just getting this feeling of like, maybe that was something that was common in your family, things being dysfunctional, things being unhealthy, things not working, but continuing the cycle, over and over and over, even though it's not working. And so, there's a need to move past these patterns. So a big thing for your reading, group 1, has to do with, and you're going to be the envy of your family once you start to take off your mask and start being the fullness of who you are, once you start moving past these emotions, once you start training to failure, exercising, grounding yourself, going for walks, getting out there, tapping into your sensuality. And, here we're getting feminine wisdom, passion. It's like you're going to, the right things and the right people are going to come in to guide you and to help you ground yourself, ground your energies, release, the toxicity that's there, with this devil card right here. And it's like, there's more to it. There's more. I'm just hearing there's more to it, than just, if you think that you just have certain habits and that you just do them, that's not the case. There's more to it than that. This is part of the mask that you're wearing. It goes part I want to say, and parcel to these emotions that are buried deep. And it's like, you have to stop doing, it's like, like when someone says, like, maybe some of you guys have unhealthy patterns with food, because I'm getting the example of like a food addiction is really coming to stand out. And it's like, you have to sort of remove some of that comfort eating in order for these emotions to come out, in order for the masks and the mask to come off, the feelings to surface, and then that's where you can start to deal with them. If you're continuing to numb yourself, then that's wearing a mask. That's masking. It's not just masking yourself, it's masking your emotions, masking your feelings. And it's like, how are you ever going to release these things if you continue to mask them? How are you going to learn what's not working if you don't allow it to, like, it's like, it's part of the transformation that needs to sort of take place. And the way that you can really protect yourself and your mental health and your aura is to let go of some of these habits and really seek the professional advice that you need. And when I say professional, it's like anyone who also has maybe been there themselves. It doesn't have to be like, oh, go to a therapist. Maybe someone else has struggled with this addiction or these habits or whatever it is, whether it's a sex addiction or, it doesn't have to be that intense, right? But it's anything that's like driven by fear, anything that you do compulsively, anything that you do repetitively, or it could just be habits that aren't working for you with this completion. It's like, I'm seeing this cycle, I'm seeing these emotions, and it's like these emotions, these negative emotions are like on a loop. So it's like they keep driving you to, it's like, to numb, to put on, and it's separating you from who you fully are and the wisdom that is within you. And so I feel like with this King of Air and this outside individual who is going to help guide you and help ask you, like, well, how's that working for you? Well, it's not really working, but I guess on some level it does work, but it's keeping you stuck as well. So that is your reading, group 1, for how to protect yourself and your psyche. And a big part of that is like, I'm getting like this protective layer around your mind and your brain, because a lot of this is mental, right? And the need to, this mental health, and I'm just getting exercise is really going to boost your mental health. It's going to help you relieve stress. It's going to help you ground some of these negative emotions that are coming up, because I'm also getting to, like, some of this stuff is like so ingrained in your brain. Like, I'm seeing like the wires of our brain, like, and like this need to start rewiring the brain as well. But part of that again comes with belief. Oh, and I'm getting a big thing about the crown chakra, because here we have these unicorns with like these antennas. I'm getting the purple, and this feminine wisdom is like, eventually you're going to reach this place, and you have to believe this, okay, guys? You have to believe that eventually you're going to reach this place where you're going to intuitively know what you need to do and how to deal with situations, how to deal with your emotions, how to deal with all of this, how to live a life that is authentic and true, where you can be the fullest expression of who you are and go after, with this Venus and Aries, going after the things that you love. And you're going to feel so stable and secure in doing it. And so, like, having these belief systems and these mantras that you tell yourself is also going to be very important in, moving forward. And just like, this is really about protecting your mental health, And so this is, I guess, the residue. This is the residue of being in this family pattern that you've been in, and how to let go and move past it. The biggest thing is believing that it's possible, that you get to live a life that you love, that you deserve, and I'm just seeing this like with this wheel, like of these being notches on a wheel and just being um, like going, and it's like almost like a clock goes tick, tick, and like each time it stops, it's like you're facing another barrier, and then you believing, and then the right help coming in. So just stick to it. And each time you're going to hit up against more emotions, more things where this addiction's going to want to, or this unhealthy pattern is going to want to rear its ugly head. And then you're going to ground, and then you're going to move and then remove and peel back the layers of the onion. And then you move to the next step, and then the next, and then the next. And then the next thing you know, you're not even going to need this outside help. You're going to be just very in tune and very connected with sensuality and feminine wisdom, that you're going to intuitively know what you need to do. And so a big part of this, again, like I'm going to say one last time, is exercise and grounding your stress, grounding your emotions, and incorporating things like that. Because it is about like having these healthier habits, and spending time outside. Like I'm almost seeing this as the globe and the earth, right? And flowers and things like that, and just really indulging yourself in your senses, things that feel good, to your senses, things that massages, things that sensually feel good, that smell good, being in a clean environment, and just really not underestimating the impact that will have on you. Because earlier I said I was going to say Taurus in Aries, and so just really indulging your senses, and not in obviously addictive ways, but in sensual ways, like Taurus, like indulging in the beautiful things, like smelling nice perfume, like cooking a nice meal. All of these things are going to help ground you as well. Taking a bath, having some eucalyptus, things, burning some sage, and these things are going to have an emotional impact on you as well. So anyhow, that is your reading group 1, on how you can protect yourself, your psyche, your aura, and sort of move forward in a more balanced way, because now I'm seeing the word diplomatic, doing so in a way that I feel like is honorable to you. And when I say honorable to you, I mean authentic to you, and in a way of, acting in a way that is balanced, that is not having your emotions, throw you all over the place. Because, again, like I said, it's going to feel like a sensory overload, like an empath overload, at the beginning of this. And perhaps this is why there is this need to look at some of these unhealthy patterns and just start with the basics of just relieving stress, and getting used to indulging yourself and your senses in these everyday things that are going to help you, like fresh air, going for a walk. And again, like I said, it's a step by step. It's like the clock kind of ticks like that, and it's like boom, boom, boom. If like I keep saying that and just hitting a wall, and then overcoming it, and then it's like I heard too, like, it's darkest before the dawn. The sun will come up tomorrow. And just reminding yourself, and just having these beliefs that things are going to get better, and you just have to believe that it's possible, and it is possible. Sometimes your emotions are going to lie to you. So anyhow, that is your reading. I know I've said that a few times. If you like this video, please give it a like. If it resonated with you, please let me know in the comments. Definitely support the channel. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. See you guys. Bye. Okay, welcome group 2. Those of you who picked this black Tourmaline and this 2 of discs, this change card. This is your reading on your toxic family, how to protect yourself, how to protect your psyche, and move forward. So like, okay, the Emperor. So this is a pretty straightforward reading, I'm gonna say, right? When I was putting out these cards, I kept hearing that quote by Maji the priestess, or Maji got the tea, and you know how she says like God hired me, who's gonna fire me? So I kept hearing that with this Emperor card, and so this is tied in with the no, and you saying no, getting used to saying no, to things that you don't like, that you don't want, and that you can do that, right? And so with this angel deck, there's also another card that has no with an exclamation mark. So this one doesn't have the exclamation mark, and so that was brought to my attention as well, because I could see you being really laid back and chill, sitting on your throne, saying no, um, no, right? And then the person being like, what? What? Like what do you mean no? So it's like done in a way where it's like, when you're really calm, cool, and collected, and you just say no, no thanks. It's like you're not needing to do it in a way that is out there. It's like stating your boundaries, saying what you're okay with, what you're not okay with, what you're gonna do, what you're not gonna do, and being clear, being blunt, being straightforward, here with Tao Setians, resilient, bold, and sassy. And just like being really straightforward about it. And not so discombobulated, I want to say. Just being really laid back and chill with what your boundaries are, and just sticking to it. Because with the Emperor, I just see him as sort of like this stoic, laid back figure. Like not so much getting bent out of shape, like emotional displays, anything like that. Just being very disciplined in that sense, like, and just very laid back and chill, like this Hermit card right here, right? So that's what I'm getting for your group is to have boundaries, and saying no, to what's not working for you, and knowing that you call the shots in your life. You get to determine what it is that you want, and things like that. And just with this victim card in reverse, right? Playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity and ability to maintain personal boundaries. So what I'm getting with this card is, and then up here is, prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. Yeah, don't play the victim. Don't be the victim. Don't allow yourself. And when I say play or be the victim, is like, if you want to say no, just say no. And make that a habit, make that a discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. And a big part of that, I think, has to do with the fact, because what I'm getting with this Hermit card is that you have been victimized, obviously, in your life, right? And there's always going to be times like when we've been victimized. So it's like the difference between having been victimized and being a victim. You may have been victimized, but you're not a victim. You're the authority of your own life, and you can change anything that you don't like. And what I'm getting with this as well, with this Hermit card, is really going inward, and seeing what it is that you want to say no to. Taking the time, making that a discipline and a habit to check in with yourself, how you feel, what you think, whatever, right? Because there's a lot of reasons that we could say yes to things that we don't actually want to do. And, some of these can be mental reasons, because I'm thinking of like, being pulled in different directions, and getting like this feeling. I'm getting this feeling of confusion. It's like, well, no, I can't say no to that, because I'm expected to do this, because I should be doing this, or, and so the change that I get that's going to take place is going to come from checking in with yourself. And it's like, well, if I truly feel that way, then why am I upset? Why is it bothering me? And so it's like really having to sort this out, right? Because I'm seeing like this inner harvest and this introspective need to go inward, and to sort through things, like separating the wheat from the chaff, separating what's yours, what's not yours, separating how you truly feel from what other people's expectations of what you should be doing. Because people's thoughts, people's opinions, that's like giving someone else control over you. If you allow someone to tell you what you're supposed to think, how you're supposed to feel, how that you should be living your life. Like sometimes your body is going to want to reject that and say, no, like that's not really how I feel, you know? And I guess like I'm getting the example for this is like, certain cultures or cultural beliefs about say, as a woman, you should be this, you should feel this, you should be extending this, and you should never say no to this or that. And I think a lot of these sorts of ideas, and maybe it had to do with your upbringing, because we're talking about toxic family, this is reminding me of something from my own family of, and, for a very long time, had such a stronghold. Anything that's gonna okay, I'm just without going into details about it, it's like anything that's gonna make you feel like a victim after you do it, that you're gonna feel victimized, you're gonna feel shit about yourself, you're gonna feel like, well, it's gonna make you feel less of yourself because it's like, why am I doing this? Why do I have to do this? Like it's not fair sort of feeling is that's you allowing yourself to be a victim, right? When you can say no. And of course, there are going to be consequences, like, especially at first when you do set up these boundaries, like, people are not going to like it. But it's like, they're going to have to get used to it and they're going to have to respect you. It's like that saying of, like, you may not like me, but you're going to respect me. And as the boss of your own life, as someone, take responsibility for your life as a creative adventure. How can you live with more meaning, integrity, and truth? And so it's like, I'm just seeing certain things being removed. When you become the boss of your own life and stand up for what you want and make the changes that you want, like, yes, there's going to be people who aren't going to be liking it because they're going to be negatively impacted by it, or they're not going to get the things that they were able to get from you in the past. Like say you were always there to help someone out, to do things for them. And it's like, yes, there's going to be things that are removed. It's going to feel uncomfortable, but now you get to create other things are going to come in. You're going to get to create things that you want to create. You're going to get to decide how you want to live your life. So really what I'm getting with how to protect yourself and your psyche is bringing into practice this reminder to yourself that yes, you are the authority, that yes, you do get to create your own life, that this is your life. God gave you your own life for you to live, and you get to decide how you want to live it, what you want to do, and to set aside time. Make it a discipline for you to check in with yourself. Remind yourself that the wisdom is within you. It's within your body. Your body's going to tell you if something is right for you or wrong for you, if something makes you feel uncomfortable, if you don't want to do something. Because when you want to do something for someone else, because I'm getting this as like being victimized by the inability to say no, by not standing up for yourself, for what you want, and just letting someone else, like I'm getting this feeling of like being pushed around, like, okay, like you just sort of, and it's like a mental control, right? So with this King of Pentacles in reverse, it's like, you get to build the life that you want, the life that you deserve, and things like that. But the big part of that is just saying no, and you can live in harmony with other people with saying no and being honest with yourself and with them. But a big part is just spending time alone, or not even spending time alone, but just making it a habit to check in with yourself, whatever that means for you. Checking in with yourself, separating yourself, like, so that you can determine if something is making you feel, you can ask yourself, right? Because it's like, because right now I'm seeing this too, and this duality is like, is this making me feel like a boss? And is this making me feel like a victim? And it's okay, like if you can still feel like a victim sometimes. Like I want to sort of make a distinction about this because it's like popping into my mind, is like, there are times that we can feel sorry for ourselves, for things that have happened in the past, for times that we've didn't say no, that we we're victimized, but just don't sit there for too long. Like, even if you need to take time out to feel like a victim every day for 20 minutes and to feel sorry for yourself, to whatever, then do that. Make that a discipline as well, but be disciplined about it. Put a time limit on it. And then afterwards be like, okay, well, what can I do to change this? And part of that is dealing with the uncomfortable. Being a boss is dealing with the uncomfortable emotions of other people sometimes, and doing what has to be done, even though it feels uncomfortable, making the hard decisions. Knowing that someone may not like you afterwards, someone's going to be upset with you. It's like that tough love of like a father, or making a business decision that, maybe your employees aren't going to like. But knowing that you have to do it, and then just saying, no, you guys may not like this, but I have to do what's best for this business. Like seeing yourself as a business almost, right? And just taking charge. So, this is a way, because this is also a way of bringing in more meaning to your life, more, living just more in alignment with what you want, and, living the life that you deserve to live. That's really what it's about. Because it's like with this bravely market your magic, and it's in reverse. It's like these things, because I for some reason I'm getting very business vibes. So maybe there's some type of business or some type of calling that requires you to undertake this sort of discipline that I'm talking about here, this structure. And I'm saying discipline in your emotions as well. And in you being assertive, it's like that business sort of mindset of like, no, here's the lines that we're drawing. We're open from this time to this time. This is how it is. You're going to have to respect it. You may not like it, but you're going to respect it, and just putting up those boundaries. And I could feel like maybe for some of you, this is going to bring in, like new, it's not even just abilities, but things like marketing your magic bravely. It's like it's just going to bring in a boss type of energy for you guys, and I think that that's going to also help you move forward. And it's also gonna, it's not just going to help you protect your psyche and your mental health and have this protective layer around it, but like having this discipline of like, it's also going to be healing for you. Like that's what I'm getting as well with this Hermit card. It's just going to bring in this discipline of like healing yourself, course correcting. Like that's what I just heard, is like if you've made a decision and you can see like, I didn't feel good about this in myself, in my body. This is something that has to change. And I just feel you being like an agent of change for yourself as well, by affirming for yourself that I get to create the life that I deserve, the life that I want. I get to check in with myself with what I like and what I don't like. And the people that are going to, and some people are going to fade away, but then the people that are going to be added in are going to be people who respect me. They respect me as an authority. They respect me, or expect me, I was about to say, to be a go-getter in my own life. And now I can achieve the things that I want, build the empire that I want as the emperor. Because I'm getting like also like a feminine energy with this 33. It's like this double feminine and the empress, and then you have the emperor over here. So I'm getting like this strong masculine and feminine, because now you get to nurture yourself, right? When you say no to someone else, like you can use that to grow what it is that you need. Because it's like I'm getting this feeling of like having a finite number of resources or energy or things like that you can use, and getting to use some of that on yourself, to heal or to move forward, or in whatever which way, or to like really embrace and create the life that you want, and also the magic that's within you, allowing that to flourish and allowing that to really go forth into the world. Like that's what I'm feeling. I'm seeing this push into this world with this this earth right here. And it's interesting too, because there's like this protective shield and this layer that's around it as well. And I'm just feeling that for you, with this black tourmaline and protection, protecting yourself from being a victim, from playing the victim, for going forward. And it's like, if you have been victimized, just tell yourself, I will never let that happen again. Or it maybe someone victimized you and that was something you couldn't do at that do anything about at that time. And so it's like, just having this thing of like, well, that's never gonna, now I don't have to do it. Like, I don't even know how to put it. You guys can put it in the way that it resonates or however you feel. I never have to deal with that again. I never have to go through that again. I get to, heal. I get to be the boss. And I get to create. Yeah. And I could do it boldly, assertively, gently, however you want to do it, right? And so that's your reading, group 2, with your toxic family. Like, just say no. It's like say, I don't know why I just got this feeling of saying no to drugs. Maybe your family, I'm not saying they do drugs, but maybe it's something that's just bad like that. It's like no. Just practice saying no in your life, and eventually it'll become so normal to do, and then you're gonna see things starting to grow and changes taking place. And you can say yes to change, or you can say no to change. It's really up to you. That's the bottom line of this message, is that you get to decide what you want to do, but make it a habit and make it a practice to spend time to check in with yourself, to see what it is that you need to be assertive about, the changes you need to make, what you can be cool about, and how you can go out there and create the life that you want and deserve. And so that is your reading, group 2. If you liked, please give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. Group 3, those of you who selected this Lemurian Calcite, this is your reading with this 4 of discs and power on your toxic family, how to protect yourself and your psyche. So with your group, you guys are the, my tooth, oh my god, my tooth just started to hurt so badly, it's aching. I never have pain in my teeth like this, so this is obviously very related to this reading. Oh my god, it really, really hurts. It's like striking a nerve. Guys, this might strike a nerve with you guys. It's like a painful nerve. Oh my god. Okay. This is gonna strike a nerve with you guys. Or this is gonna get on your nerves, maybe? Or some people aren't gonna like this. Whatever, it is what it is. I'm just gonna get into it. So as I was lying down these cards, I kept hearing separate yourself, right? Separate yourself. So that was one thing that I was getting, is that you need to separate yourself from your family. And then right as I got that really strongly, I pulled out this card that says, come together, we need each other. Okay. So maybe this is going to strike a nerve. Okay. So let me explain what this means, because there's like layers to this. Because you are a group of like highly advanced, highly intuitive. Here we have this Lemurian stone. We have the High Priestess. We have You Are Light. We have the King of Air, which is like an expert. You have the Sun, which is this bright healing energy that stands out on its own. So it's like, why are you separating yourself? But meanwhile, it's like, come together. So the deeper understanding, and that's what I was also getting with this stone, is it having to do with understanding. Okay, so how do you protect yourself? I'm not even going to focus too much on the question at hand, and maybe this is also going to strike a nerve, and you may dislike this because I've gotten dislikes over, well, you didn't answer the question precisely. Well, whatever. This is how I'm going to answer it. So you guys are expert psychics, whether you know it or not. Intuitive psychics, healers, all of those things. It's the king of air and the high priestess, Lemuria, the sun. You stand out. It stands out a lot. Okay. And even with the number 44, like when I think of, the 11 life path, 22, 33, and then there's 44, which is above and beyond. And then power. It's just great, great power. So there is a need to separate yourself. Okay, so let's start with that. You're going to have to separate yourself. Here we have soak in a bath. And with this, I'm getting and take a walk. Soaking in baths, taking walks, taking care of yourself. There's like a really strong sexuality here as well with sacred lust and the Ace of Wands. So it's like what I'm getting with you is like everything that you do is sacred. Everything that you do is energetic. It's sacred. It's a way for you to connect. It's a way for you to intuitively receive more messages, more intelligence. Here we have the crown chakras on these unicorns, and there's so many of them. And it's a way for you to, as like the sun, to shine your light even more, to shine brighter than a diamond, to stand out. Because we have this desire to want to be separate and alone and to hide. That's what I'm getting here with the moon. Here we have the moon. Here we have the moon. Here we have the moon. And I feel like there's a lot more moon than I just pointed out. Here we have another moon. So just know that when you take a bath, do so with intention to cleanse yourself, to clear yourself. We have these crystals, to go for a walk, to have it as a meditation, a way to connect, even more so. It's like there's more to it than just these particular acts. Same with sex, same with sensual pleasures. Here we have a woman and two men. Like, guys, I'm sorry. I may get dislikes on this, and she's on a lion, which is Leo and the sun. Like, allow your sexuality to stand out. Don't, like, I don't want to tell you guys what to do, but even sex is sacred, right? And what I'm getting with this is like, this is another testimony. This is another meditation. When you walk and you connect in that way, because I'm getting like a sacral chakra thing right here as well, right? This is like an activation of your sacral chakra, making you more creative, allowing more inspiration, more intuition to come through you is through sex, through your sensuality. Like, treat yourself like a goddess, and what I'm getting also too with like this expert sort of like high level intuitive, this psychic, this healer is like everything that you do, take it as sacred. Like when you go for a walk, let it be a meditative walk. Like when I'm seeing these mountains, I'm seeing the hermit and time to introspect and like messages coming through to you, with these birds and things like that. Like that's what these walks are. This is what I'm talking about, separating yourself, right? Like taking the time out to and not just physically separate yourself, but like mentally, so you can, it's like a meditation. All of this stuff is a meditation. All of this is another way. Like, look at how it's more like he has this one unicorn, but there's all these unicorns in the background as he's going through the forest, right? And I'm almost feeling like these unicorns here in the background are like in the spirit, he's on physically riding this one, but these ones he's backed by all these other ones. And so I feel like when you do these certain acts, like these energetic acts, whether it's sexual, whether it's sensual, and with the two men, like, I'm sorry guys, you guys can interpret it. Like, I'm not going to come out and say it. And then she's on this lion and it's like, like, let yourself be appreciated, sexually, sensually, even if you have to do it in hiding, like you don't got to put yourself out there because she's right under the moon with it. Maybe look into like sacred sexuality, like tantric sex, wisdom of the ancients, because here we see, the pyramids and stuff and like how they understood sex, how they saw it as an energetic practice as well. Like I'm just getting like the orgasm as well, like, and how that can affect your psychic, your healing abilities and things like that. So please look into that. Like, I don't want to go too far into it because it's gonna hit a nerve. Like, and that's how my tooth was hurting like hard. Like, and I never have toothache, so I know for a fact that this has to do with this reading. And so all I'm saying is keep an open mind, okay? Keep an open mind. That's what I'm talking about, separating yourself so that you can indulge in these things and do so in a meditative way. Because again, you are like the ultimate psychic, the ultimate intuitive, the ultimate healer, and that ability, with the sun, I feel like, and this lion, it's like it stands out. It stands out. It's your power. Right here we have the 4 and the double 44, and like I'm thinking of the emperor. This is your power. This is your, here we have this Lemurian stone. This is your power. This is what you stand out to do. And so this is another part of your reading. So this is the separation so that you can energetically and meditatively and intuitively receive downloads, information, through water, right? This is a water. Lemuria is a water type of place, the wisdom of water, a feminine power, the high priestess, sexuality, whether it's lust, whether it's your sacral chakra, it's going to help your intuition. It's going to make you more creative. There is wisdom, deep, deep wisdom, and like, and power in it as well. Like a big part of your power is going to come through your sexuality. I'm sorry to say it like that. And there's more going on behind the scenes, so keep an open mind when it comes to that. So let yourself stand out. There's a definite connection to the stars, and things like that. And it comes through your sexuality. Okay. So embrace your sexuality. Okay. So that's what I'm getting with the separation. Now coming together is, and because with Lemuria, what I think of is, everyone having very unique, and this is relevant, this is, applies to today as well, but like everyone knowing who they are, everyone knowing their power, their gifts, their purpose, right? And no one being jealous of the next person and what they have going on because they are so developed in their own gifts and things like that, right? So this coming together aspect with your toxic family or whatever, or just take this in general and then we'll apply it to your family perhaps, right? Is they all, like, okay, everyone has a purpose, right? Even if that purpose just means that like you're a healer, so you're going to need sick people in order for you to fulfill your purpose as a healer. Does that make sense? So when you have people in your family who are different, where have you been separating yourself or pushing against others and the world? Like they have a place too in this, I wanted to say matrix. They have a place in this matrix. They have a place in this world. They have a purpose here. The sun has a purpose. If there weren't plants and if there weren't things that the sun would make grow, would the sun really have its purpose? You know what I'm saying? So it's like we all have, if there weren't people causing damage, would the people who restore things have a purpose to restore? Restoration. I'm getting restoration. That's another thing that you do. You restore. That's also part of your power. And so it's like there's a purpose in everything, and this is like, a higher level of understanding here. And so everything is connected. Everything is interdependent. Everything is built like with these 4s, like the structure, the power. I'm just saying structure, power. Things are built together. It's like that duality, because now I'm seeing the tree of life and you have mercy and then you have severity. And then in the middle, you have the middle path going down, right? So it's like you have dark, you have light. And then, you have like the balance of it all. And so it's like, maybe you're seeing a lot of duality, a lot of opposites in your family, your toxic family. But just know that there is a reason why this was built into the structure of the earth, into the world, into the universe. And I feel like the more that you take everything as sacred, and I'm not just talking about, because we just talked about how everything is sacred, with like baths, like energetically, everything is sacred sexually, with nature and the outdoors, it has an effect on your intuition, on your powers as an intuitive, your energy, your aura, all these things, right? And it connects you even deeper, and allows you to shine even brighter, and step into your power even more. So I lost my train of thought, but back to how we all need each other. And there's something that's going to be offered to you, or that is offered to you. Huh. Interesting. I just got something. You see how this Ace of Wands has fire on it? And so what I'm getting, because I'm like, well, what are they offering? Like this toxic family, like for real, like what are they offering? And I'm seeing something with because it's interesting, because there's fire over here, and then there's things that are growing and sprouting over here. And so it's like on the one side we have this element of fire and burning up, because now I'm seeing this candle. I have a candle right in front of me, and it's burning up the wax, and it's transmuting, we'll put it, or it's like, what's that term in chemistry where it's like something goes from a liquid to a gas to, it's changing its form, right? So it's like certain people's purpose is like changing its form in the foundations, or in its structure, its structural form. So maybe that's the purpose of coming together with others, because it's like transmuting, it's changing the structure of something with this fire, and then allowing something else to grow in its place. And like essentially that's what you do too as a healer. It's like burning off things that don't work, releasing things. Because when I think about fire, I think of purification, you know and sometimes it's like the storm that comes in, and it ruffles and it shakes everything up, but then the wind comes and it clears everything, and then now new things can grow. And so it's like with this sun, you stand out. This is getting to be a little bit confusing, this message now, this part of it, because there's mysteries to it, right? That's what I'm getting with this. There's more mysteries to be uncovered, and I don't want to sit here and dictate it, like, and say, well, this is what it is. The idea that I'm getting here is that, with this hand of God that's coming through, is like God will show you a deeper understanding of the purpose of these structures and why they were built in this way. That is like the uncovering of more of your power, more of your understanding, more of your third eye. Like I'm seeing this as a third eye. It's going to uncover more. So like embrace your sexuality. Everything is sacred, okay? Everything is sacred. Even things that people want to make to be like, I don't want to say low, like with sex. Like sometimes, maybe this was like a toxic idea of your family, or it's not just family, but a lot of like they really demonize sex, right? Or they make it like, say something like, now I'm getting like being with two men at the same time. Like that's something that, this is the example that I'm getting, guys. Okay. So like it's something that is seen as what's it called, but like not in a great light, right? Like it's not seen in a good light. And so I don't know what my point is with this, is like everything is sacred. Like I don't know. Anyways, I'm just gonna leave that one alone. But I guess the point that I'm trying to get to is like, God works in mysterious ways, and different things can come in through different means. Okay. It's like, and when you're reaching advanced levels of anything, it's like, okay, here's an example. You know how like athletes or people who are like in the Olympics, or I mean, I've never trained to be an Olympian, but once you start hitting like expert, like top tier level, you're gonna be doing top tier level shit. And it's like other people are gonna hear about it. And like, if we're just trying to get fit, we stick to the basics. Oh, okay, eat right, go for a walk, lift some weights. But like when you're getting to the like I said, like the higher levels, like the highest levels, we're gonna hear some weird shit that they do. Okay. That's how I'm feeling. That's what I'm getting. And so you're at this king of air, this expert level, top tier level of like intuitive, psychic healer type stuff. And when you start reaching these advanced levels, some of the shit is going to be weird to some people. So you have to keep an open mind. So if I say to you, hey, like, and take this as it resonates, guys, I know I'm going to get dislikes on this. I don't care. If I tell you, okay, go have a threesome, embrace your sexuality, sacred lust, that's going to do something to your sacral chakra. God is going to bring in more. Maybe more will be transmuted, more will start to grow. Like, that's what these ancients, like, look into ancient sexual practices, like how they viewed it, what it did for them, because, some of these people were advanced. So like, so just keep an open mind when it comes to that, right? Because it may sound weird. It may be so counter culture to how it's perceived, but keep an open mind. Like, if you're guided to it, like that's what I'm getting with these stars, then go for it. In a safe way, of course, but maybe it has to do with confidence. Maybe this is something that's going to make you shine your light even brighter, make you more confident in yourself, bring in more of your power, your sexuality, your your sacral chakra, things like that. So just go with what you're guided for. Know that like when you're hitting advanced levels, it's like, what's that saying of like, there's a saying, oh my god, certain things require certain measures. Like, what's it called? That's gonna bother me now. Not different strokes for different folks. Again, that's another sexual reference that just came in. But that's something that they're saying is like different strokes for different folks. If you're into something, you're into it. But desperate times call for desperate measures. Even though this is not desperate, okay? But I'm just saying like advanced, things require advanced measures, right? So just keep that in mind. Okay, so now bringing this back to your toxic family and how to protect yourself and your psyche. So all of this stuff, though seeming unrelated in some ways, is very much related with this need to separate yourself and do your own thing. And separating yourself is even just like following your intuition, following what you're guided to do, okay? And then going for it. Taking everything as sacred, separating yourself, knowing that you're your own individual, and that you have your own power, and but then also coming together in the sense of like seeing yourself as part of this whole with them right here, right? And seeing yourself as having a purpose, and then seeing them as having a purpose as well. However that may resonate with you, whether that is in the sense of like, again, like I said, to have your purpose as a healer, you're going to have sick people, right? Like it's just the way that it is. And meditate on it. More answers will come to you when you're energetically activating yourself, right? Nothing is too small for a message to come through to you, okay? Stop hiding who you are. Stop hiding your light. Shine bright. Allow yourself to step into your power. The more that you do, and when I say that, I mean undergo what you're being called to undergo. Even if that is, and comment down below, feel free to let me know if this message resonates with you, especially around the sexual elements of it. Because for me, it would be very helpful as well. To know that like there's some truth in what I'm saying here, or that like, or how that, I just would like to hear how that resonates with you, and how that, and if you've been trying things out, like, share that as well. But anyway, I think I'm going to leave this message here. And I'm just going to wrap it up and say that, like, we all have a purpose. We all have a place. Be who you are. Shine like who you are. Like, the sun doesn't shine just for certain people. It doesn't, it shines for everybody, you know? Um, and I'm just getting this like really strong, powerful confidence and this magnetic energy that's going to emit from you, like this Leo and this sun around your psychic, your healing, your advanced spiritual knowledge, your understanding, your power, and how that's going to just like come out. Like, that's just something that's going to continue to grow. It's like I'm seeing like spirit just like throw you more, throw you more, throw you more, and now you're entering into the realm of unique weird shit, you know, of things like others may, and that's where you need to separate yourself from others and know that, you know, what's right for them is right for them, and what's right for you is right for you, and that's okay. You all are different. You all have separate purposes. And so yeah, so this is your reading about protecting yourself and your psyche from your toxic family. Is like, you are on your own path, and it's a very unique one. And they are also on their own as well, and their purpose is also very unique as well. And that there's a place for them here, there's a purpose for them here. This is how it was built. And while they may judge you, because now I'm feeling a judgment that can come around the sexual elements of it, you can also be judging them back. And you know, because you can be very counterculture, because like sometimes people will be like, you know, this doesn't make any sense. Like, when you're following your intuition, the outside people will be like, that stands out as something that's weird, that doesn't make sense. Like, we're not seeing the logic behind it, we're not seeing the, you know, this, especially with this king of air. Like, I'm seeing maybe your family is more logical, you're more intuitive, you know, but like advanced level logic, advanced level intuition. And so it's like, you can look at them and be like, well, that makes no sense. And then they can look at you and be like, that makes no sense. And just because it doesn't make sense for them doesn't mean that you should dim your light, okay? Or you dim your power, or whatever. You're here for a certain purpose, and it is what it is. And I feel like maybe at some point with these fours, everything will come together. And it's like, here you have a single four, and there's this period of separation, and then now the two fours come together later on and can appreciate each other. And again, you know, take that how it resonates. But there's definitely a sense of needing to build up your confidence, and in separation, so that when you come together, it's like you can shine your light like the sun, with this confidence, with this lion, and just embrace all of who you are and be okay with it. Because sometimes when we're stepping into our power, and we're really trying to advance certain things, like, people aren't going to get it. Like, if you're that advanced athlete, you know, in like, you know, the world elites, we're talking world elites, like, the shit that you're going to have to do, the power that you're going to have to muster up from within, it's like you need to be separate in order to do that, or you need to be with people who are of you know, I just heard birds of a feather flock together. Be people who are going to get it and are going to like energetically like propel you even further ahead, right? As opposed to like not get it, you know, and create doubt within you. So yeah, so that's what I'm getting with your reading. And so this is really important for your psyche, and it's important for your purpose. It's important for your confidence. It's important for your expertise in what you do. Okay, group 3. So that's your reading. Please give me a like if you like this video. Subscribe to see more videos like this. Take care. I love you guys, and all the best. Bye. Welcome, group 4. Those of you who chose the orange calcite and the 3 of cups, abundance. This is your reading about your toxic family and how to protect yourself and your psyche. So, all right. Where should I start with this reading? So there's a few things here that I think are important to talk about. So, okay. I'm just thinking about where to start, because I mean, with your reading, I'm really feeling just a lot of emotional, like there's a lot of injustices. Here we have justice in reverse, right? We have a lot of injustice. We have the tower here, which is destruction, um, water in reverse, balance, standing firm. With your reading, I'm just getting a lot of okay, actually, let's just answer the question: how to protect yourself and your psyche. What I'm getting with your pile, and we have psychic journaling right here as well, is, and the void, stop, embrace winter, great cosmic womb. I'm getting that there is a lot of injustice, a lot of things that you don't understand with this King of Swords in reverse. And it's causing such emotional turmoil and dysregulation within yourself. And there's this need to want to find balance, want to find stability, want to just find, like here when it says standing firm, I just feel it as like wanting to really ground yourself, as these emotions are like washing over you, which I'm seeing here in this abundance card. You see how the water is just like pouring down? And I'm seeing this with the tower. And with this water, I'm feeling like so much injustice, so much stuff that doesn't make any sense, mentally. With pedestal in reverse, it's like having to take, I feel like the need to remove family off of its pedestal. This concept of family, with this tower, it's like, these old ideas, these old beliefs of like family being where you belong, with this calcite. Having this desire to want to connect and belong to your family unit. And then removing this idea from your belief system in a way, because there's something that doesn't make sense, something that's incongruent mentally, like with this King of Swords, because of the injustices, because of things that happen, because of the way that they make you feel so imbalanced, so emotional, the way that things don't make sense, and so the way that with this, I'm just getting this feeling of like needing, like low self-esteem, needing to heal. With this void, it's like embracing winter. With winter, I just get like a coldness. I'm getting a coldness, a feeling of lack, of not having, of not belonging, of being overwhelmed with emotions, with water in reverse. And so with psychic journaling, so this is the advice of like protecting yourself, protecting your psyche. With this card, I'm getting like this need to write whatever comes to you, right? And doing so from a place of, from being very honest, and embracing the void. So with the void, I'm getting like anything can happen in this writing, right? And so I'm getting automatic writing, just letting it flow. And maybe you can start with like the things that may have happened with your emotions, how you feel, things that have happened, maybe how you feel around not belonging, old ideas that you had that you're no longer believing. And so that's what I'm getting with this releasing of these, putting family on a pedestal. Like it doesn't make sense for you anymore to put family on a pedestal, to put people on a pedestal, put family members on a pedestal. It's like getting rid of this idea that your family is your actual family. Like maybe there's a soul family out there. Like who knows what's going to come out? Who knows what's within you that's going to come out, and it's going to be psychically. And I'm just getting automatic writing. I'm getting shamanism. I'm getting the dream state. Things like that. Maybe that's a great time to write, is like when you're waking up. I just heard upon awakening. Maybe before you go to bed. And it's like, I feel like a lot is going to be revealed, like with, you see how here there's different letters, and I feel like that's, you don't need to know what you're going to write about. You just need to know that the letters and the words are going to come together. And And it's going to help bring you, because here with balance, I'm seeing she has, light in both of her hands. And again, that's like the balance. Like one is receiving and one is more of an active thing. And so with that, I'm getting this thing of like, taking the action to write and then receiving as a result of taking that action. And receiving, because with the void is like everything and nothing at the same time. This is like a very interesting reading, because with this tower and this pedestal and, this new way of thinking, I feel like, and then this eye here, right? It's like this, I don't know if it's the eye of Shiva or some all-encompassing eye, is going to reveal stuff to you through writing, through journaling, things that you would not have been able to uncover on your own with your logical mind. Things that, because like that's what I'm getting with this void. It's like you don't know what you're going to find there. The great cosmic womb. You don't know what is going to grow there, and so it's like these intuitive things are going to start to come to you, and it's going to help you unpack and unravel what needs to be unpacked and unraveled around your emotions. What I'm getting with this too is like with healing, and I'm getting this circle as well, is like, things not being linear, things not being logical, things almost being circular. I'm almost feeling like, for some reason, I'm thinking about the healing that needs to take place to your sense of belonging. And I'm also getting like the red chakra, the survival one, the first one. What's that called? I forget what it's called, but it's like this sense of like security, this sense of belonging. Because I'm seeing a lot of red here, and it's like your foundation being really shaken up, or like some change that's going to take place, or this outpouring, this abundance that's going to pour into, your foundation. All I can go back to is this need to write, this need to actively do things, and then to receive information intuitively. Because, the way that you're going to protect yourself psychically has to do with removing old ideas, and stop upholding those old ideas. That's what I'm getting with pedestal in reverse and this tower. It's releasing old ideas that no longer are relevant, that no longer make sense, that should no longer influence your emotions. Because here's an example that I just got in my mind, is like, when I say influence your emotions, like if I believe that my family is where I'm supposed to belong, where I'm supposed to get my self-esteem from, it's going to make me strive in certain ways for maybe validation and approval. And this is just an example. And then if I don't get that, it's going to leave me feeling a certain way, a negative way, like I'm not good enough, or whatever the case is, right? And it's going to hurt. Emotionally, it's just going to take you off balance. And so I feel like there's a need to remove these ideas, certain ideas that don't make sense, that should no longer influence how you feel, and I'm just getting like, that's when like a true security will come in, a true belonging will come in, a true creative power for you. And when I say creative power, I mean creating with abundance here. Mercury in Cancer. So it's like new thoughts will form around what family is, with like how you belong, where you belong, what family means to you. And all of these things are going to start to come in. And I'm getting also to And again, like now I feel like I'm starting to like channel stuff as well. So this is gonna be what happens to you. And look into shamanism as well. Shamanic journeys. Maybe you can get information that way as well. What was the next thing I was gonna say? I feel like I just lost it. Having this new conception of it's just I'm just getting a lot of getting new conceptions, okay, not just around family, about who to look up to, about thoughts, beliefs, ideas, about even just things like spirituality, around God. Like that's something I just got as well, is like having your own conception of God. Like who is God? Who is this all watching eye? Like what is this about? How to live your life, like how to function in life. Like this is the void that we're talking about. Stop, embrace winter, great cosmic womb, because it's like there's something new that wants to be, it's like a new seed that wants to be planted in this womb for it to grow. And it's going to be something very, very transformative for you with this tower. And it's been born out of this injustice and these really, really negative emotions that are stirring and that are within you right now, and that are coming over you. And it's done so that you can mature in some sort of way. And so that you can let go of these old ideas, this old way, or maybe of even relying on these old thoughts or these beliefs or things like that. And so that you can belong somewhere else. Because I just keep feeling like you belong somewhere else. And it isn't just, when I'm talking about belonging, I'm talking about belonging not just with your family, in your place in the world, maybe with work, maybe it's your whole life. It's like a major change with this womb. It's like you don't know what is going to be planted and you don't know what's going to come out of it, but it's something for you to channel, because I'm getting a lot of channeling with this. And so it's like getting your head out of the game, getting your old ideas out of the game, getting your emotions put to the side a little bit as well, so that you can create new ideas of where you do belong, because this reading, I just keep getting this sense of belonging and belonging and belonging, and your rightful place. And your rightful place has to do with your thoughts, and it has to do with your beliefs, and it has to do with how you perceive the world, how you understand the world. Is it through this logical place, or is this through this like psychic, or is it going to be more balanced, right? Because one is more active, one is more receptive. It's like bringing things into balance again, not just within your situation, but it's going to affect and improve your entire life, and heal you in certain ways as well. So protecting yourself and your psyche. So just get to writing, really. A lot of stuff is going to come in through automatically. And it's probably going to be a lot of emotions that are going to come up, a lot of releasing. But it's going to ultimately end with a lot of abundance, a lot of Three of Cups. I just realized it's like you're going to find your people, your family, soul family. Maybe that's what it is. It's like that's where you belong, is with your soul family, and I'm just getting a new concept of God, a new concept of the spirit, having your own conception of family, having your own conception of God, having your own conception of how you're to live your life, and to remove things off a pedestal that don't need to be on there anymore. Removing this idea of logic being, a way to live your life. Or like being tied to certain ideas around that, so that's the start, is really about seeing what comes up for you. And so anything that has to do with channeling, anything that has to do with recording, with writing, or tapping into this mystery of the subconscious. So even things like shamanism, shamanic journeying, maybe dream interpretations, anything that has to do with emotions, the subconscious, anything like that, I feel like is going to be very relevant for you and protecting yourself and your psyche, because it's going to be uncovered by you. This is something that's going to be uncovered by you, and it's going to be very life-changing and transformative. for you. And it's like really just digging deep into this mystery and then allowing something new to grow as a result. Because right now I'm feeling like it's just a bunch of, your emotions are like a bunch of jumbled letters. You see how the letters here are just jumbled together and they don't really make any sense? Or something's like, and it's leaving you off balance. It's not like creating anything like, so it's like, what I'm seeing is like going into this mystery, going into the subconscious, going into like these circles, and maybe you're gonna have to go in circles, you know. And with these circles, I'm feeling like this healing, these cycles of healing, because it's like sometimes you have to come back to something in order to learn something, and then now you can go back and try it again, and you learn something else, and you discover something else, and you keep going, and it makes a bigger circle and a bigger circle. And when I say a bigger circle, and it's like a bigger understanding, a widening of an understanding of some sort, you know. And I'm just seeing you as like starting small and then going bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And so this is like, I almost feel like I want to say a journey of discovering, and it's like you are this eye, like there's something out here that is like watching like your life here. And I just feel like it's like a journey of discovering like what's even here, you know, what's in this void, like what do I really believe, like why do I feel this way, you know. Like there's just more to it. So I'm hoping that this reading resonated with you guys. Please let me know if it does. Like it if you like it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. And good luck. Good luck with all of this. I love you guys. Take care. All the best. Bye. Okay, group 5, welcome to your reading. Those of you who picked Sodalite and this Ace of Discs, this is your reading on your toxic family and how to protect yourself, how to protect your psyche for moving forward, right? Okay, so your reading is really about it's about mastery, okay? So it's about taking whatever opportunity has come in for you and taking it to the level, because I've heard faith without works is dead. Here you have the star, which is about faith. This is about opportunity. The 3 of Pentacles is about work. And then you have mastery over here, right? So it's about taking this opportunity to put in work towards yourself. Whatever skill that it is that you want to master, this is the time to do it. And it's really about channeling this negative emotion into whatever it is that you're doing. Here we have full moon in Scorpio. It's time to release negativity. We have the 10 of, look at this, the 10 of cups, which is like just a sense of like unfulfillment, feeling unfulfilled. You know what's gonna fulfill you? I mean, I know like with toxic family, it's like we want to get enjoyment, we want to get fulfillment from our families and from those connections, those close bonds, those close sense of belonging, of connection and things like that. And with your group, I'm getting this sense of like this fulfillment coming from a mastery of a skill, of an art, of a talent, and you know, channeling and using this discontent within yourself from your family. See how like this is a family and it's raining, and it's like there's all these storms and these clouds, and then you have Scorpio, which is again water sign, and then to the sea we go, like going on this journey. And you see her just like in there. To me, it almost looks like she's working on something, like she's working on something. And this isn't powered by, you know, an engine or something like that. It's just moving with the flow of the water. And then number 7 as well, which is something kind of magical. So what I'm getting with your group is to really funnel and channel these negative emotions, this sense of unfulfillment into something that is actually going to fulfill you. And putting in the work, because faith without works is dead. And another thing I heard was no mud, no lotus. Here, because I see this flower over here, and you, the muse, you are your own muse. There's a muse within you. If there was no mud, there would be no lotus. And so I want you to look at it like that, with your toxic family. Like, I'm also thinking about like this desire to move with ease, the same way that she is in this boat and she's moving slowly, gracefully, gently, with ease in this direction. It's like it's pointed this way, but she's not actively trying to like pedal and get away. It's like she's just focused on what she's focused on, right? And then with this faith, it's like, that's another element of it is, guiding light, inspiration, faith, hope, miracles, infinite energy. And I'm just getting this really peaceful, and then you being a star, with the star, it's the star card, you being a star, you having mastery, you unlocking this extraordinary talent for you to really just show your true self. Like how a peacock like expands its feathers. There's a wild and impetuous uniqueness to you that deserves to be honored. And so to me, this is really about digging deep within yourself. It's about letting go of this grief and this sorrow, this heartbreak. And it's not even about letting it go. It's just about releasing it. It's about focusing yourself, and using yourself as the muse. You're being your own inspiration, your emotional, and then that being a release for you. Like, what is it that you love? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to gain mastery over? And my light just, like, I have a candle burning over here, and it just ignited even more. Like, what is it that ignites you? What is it that's going to be worth it, for you to really invest your energy and your time, putting in the work to do? I'm getting Capricorn as well. Is it music? Is it an instrument? Is it a skill? Like, what is it that is going to help you release this negativity, release these family issues into? And again, you're the muse. You're the muse. Like, it's like, I can't really say that enough, is that you are the muse. And I'm getting like this feeling with this eye here, and it being like an intuition, because I'm seeing this eye on her forehead and having to do with mastery, and then this being like the bigger vision of your life, because I'm getting, again, with these eyes, like with this peacock feather, with the eyes, with this, it's like, this is like the eye that's watching over your life, and it's like saying to you that you are the muse. These emotions are the muse. This is what's supposed to push you and guide your boat forward, and it's going to be the momentum of spirit, like, pushing you along, if you could just put in the work and focus on what it is you want to establish, what it is you want to create. Because it's like, I'm seeing like these clouds are going to clear up, and then this is where you're going to get your fulfillment from, ultimately, and it's going to be miraculous for you. So this is really how to protect yourself in your psyche. Like, I see this as like, it's reminding me of someone that I knew in school, as a kid, who had different issues with their family, and what they started doing was playing an instrument. And they used to practice all the time. And like, it was like such a beautiful thing, that they became so skilled at it, and they became amazing at it. And they ended up teaching other kids how to play that instrument. And it became a source for them to make money, to meet new people, to help others. It became such a part of their life that really brought in a lot of fulfillment for them. The belonging, the fulfillment, all those things that they may have wanted, but weren't able to get from their family. And it really helped them to stand out and to develop other abilities and skills as well. And it was so much that came from it, but so much. And it's like this desire, and I'm just getting, again, this push forward to do this, and that being the muse, like you being the muse within yourself, It's enough for you to be your own muse. And we hear this a lot. I think sometimes when we hear about like people who are very successful in certain areas, is like this negativity, and we're trying to release it in a positive way or in a productive way is what propels people and drives them to move forward. It's like, growing up, say as an example, like not having money or not having love is what propels people to strive harder. Like if you're completely comfortable, and this isn't always the case, but I'm just saying, like if you're completely comfortable, sometimes that just kind of keeps you stagnant, right? It's like these things that bring us discomfort is what pushes us to strive for things. Being dissatisfied, feeling unfulfilled is what pushes us forward and gives us that desire and the courage to want to move forward, to want to go out there, to want to get busy, to want to change our life and change our situation and to put in the work and to have a stronger faith and to have to believe that things will get better and that this fulfillment will come in through something else. And so that's what I'm getting is like I'm getting like this. I just heard realization. And when I hear realization, I mean actualization, like realizing a goal, realizing a talent, realizing a skill, like actualizing yourself in some sort of way and putting in, it's like, I feel like, God has planted a seed or has offered you a seed and he wants you to grow it. And he wants you to make something of it. And he wants you to bring it to life, to bring it to fruition. And he's saying that not only is it going to grow, it's also going to make you stand out. It's going to help you heal. And it's like, I just heard the gift that keeps on giving. And it's going to give you so many things that you couldn't have even anticipated. Like the story I told you earlier about this girl that I knew and her, really picking up on this instrument and what that really did for her in her life. It's like when you hear about like kids who play basketball and, and all the things that like basketball or whatever, like once they become really, really skilled and good at it, like all the things that it's done for them. And so it's like a blessing in disguise, but it requires so much work and it requires so much faith. And this mastery that I'm feeling is not just a mastery of a skill, it's also a mastery of yourself, a mastery of your emotions, a mastery of like things around you. It's like I'm feeling this feeling of like bending things to your will. I'm getting this feeling of the magician, of like knowing how to make lemonade out of lemons. And so it's like something a little bit deeper than just the physical. It's also, it says extraordinary right here. It's something more than that. It's something more extraordinary than that. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting with your group is like, this is how to protect yourself in your psyche, is really to funnel all of this energy into mastering something and knowing that the fulfillment that you're seeking is going to come to you through this endeavor. And it's whatever, has been presented to you or something